This is so nerve-wracking. We're expected to get some severe weather. Oh, fair amount of damage here. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. My name is Max. I am currently working on my 1983 Bigfoot 9.5C truck camper to live in. In the last episode, we were rock climbing with some friends, and that was really great, but now we're gonna get back to working on the camper. In previous episodes, had shown you like some of the repairs that I was doing and some of the reinforcements. Came back today, and unfortunately, I had seen something that I was like, oh man, this stinks. In previous episodes, you had seen me put this wood backer on the ceiling. It has come down. Fluctuation in temperature here has been pretty big. It'll get pretty cold at the night, maybe like 50s. We're still getting like Arctic air, even though it's not like frigid temperatures, it's still pretty cold for summer. It's June at this point and still getting down into the low 50s, almost 40s at night, and then into the mid 70s, 80s in the day. Pretty warm. So what's happened, unfortunately, is this has come delaminated. So I noticed that some of the fiberglass is like shiny, and I think I could have prepped it better for this. What we're going to do instead is scrape this and prep the ceiling and add resin and fiberglass to add this and beef up the ceiling to get it nice and strong. I really liked how it was in there. When I put it in there, the ceiling had a nice natural curve to it. It felt really strong. Like I said, this is a structural part to the ceiling. We can still add some foam and some reinforcement to the ceiling for having insulation, so that shouldn't be a problem. Another thing that I have going on with the camper is I have come up with a plan, a way where I can write down, I've written everything down that I've kind of like had in my head. Yeah, planning isn't always my best strong suit, so the only way you can get better at something is with practice. If I needed to adjust anything of what I want to do in the camper, and just change it on paper and see if that's a good plan. All right, so I found that it's actually just going to make the most sense to cut another sheet of wood, just like I did last time, because that piece of wood that I am trying to scrape and get clean to reuse it, it's just going to take forever. So like I said, practice makes perfect, so I think it'd be okay to cut another sheet. Third time's the charm, I guess. Just like with any project, you can't half do or half bake pretty much anything that you do, otherwise you're going to be doing it twice. And it's like, oh, you know, we do things right because we do it twice. I'm gonna use my head again. You gotta take this down. This piece isn't gonna be as bulky. It's gonna be important because it's not gonna have as much leverage to kind of rip down the ceiling. made these sticks that I found out of wood. I actually had to use for like a mattress. So I just cut them down to kind of size so that I can use them to push on the ceiling a little bit, or if I ever need to like use these to help push something up on the ceiling, I could even trim them even more for like the foam and stuff. So it's gonna be really helpful. Oh yeah. Okay. That's perfect. It bends pretty good. It's just thick enough. I think the other piece might have been a little bit too thick. All right, time to mix up some thickened resin. Let's try to get this piece of wood stuck to the ceiling properly. Man, it's getting pretty hot. My hands are sticky. These gloves are also like tourniquets. I have to keep looking at my legs and like body because there's so many ticks around here. It's pretty ridiculous. I'm going with 6 ounces of this deal, and then about 30 drops, and I'm gonna make this into a paste. Whew. So I'm gonna make this into, I'm gonna add some microfibers. Maybe I should do 4 ounces. I'm gonna start with that. I've got fiberglass fibers. I'm not gonna add that much. I don't even think I need to add some colloidal silica, but I think adding just a little bit of fibers would be pretty helpful. I'm just gonna get this prepared, and then we gotta sand down the ceiling carefully. So I'm just gonna do a light amount of this. We're pretty much just doing resin, but we're like trying to bridge the gap between fibers and the ceiling and this resin. Store this like that. Just got it sanded down and scraped. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Just old-fashioned scraping. Going back with acetone. Ooh. I cut 3 strips of just regular CSM from scraps that I just had laying around to try to utilize as much as I have here to also kind of help really hold this piece of wood to the ceiling. I guess like the only way after this point, if you were to say like, hey, I want to remove this, you kind of have to like, you have to grind into the camper to get it off, but that's important. We want this to be super structural. We don't really want this to come off. It's never going to really come off anyways. So yeah, this is like a gel. The reason I want this as a gel, or my thought process behind this is pretty goopy, is that I want this to fill any voids and cracks and goops, or with the goop, I want it to fill any cracks and voids and stuff like that when I lay it up to the ceiling. Even though that piece of wood bends pretty well, it's not gonna fill everything. So this is 4 ounces. I'm gonna put about 20 drops. I'll put in 22, 23 now. Drops. I don't want too much of working time, but we do want some working time, because I was using 3M 4200 before and it worked okay. It was working good. Now that after I worked with it and I saw how it peeled off and came off, it almost seems like maybe that was what the previous owner did. I'm not too sure. I'm going to not throw this in another batch. Man, there's a lot of this paste, which is good because you know what, I'm gonna get my board ready just in case I need to add filler to that crack or that corner. So I can also add it to this mixing board just in case. But first things first, we're gonna get to that piece of wood up top. Try to use these wood, or these CSM backers. You know the drill. This has to be quick, and I'm gonna try to be as quick as I can. You're not gonna see it down here, but I am lathering this piece of board with this concoction I just made. This goopy goop gelatin stuff. I also got the sticks beside me to kind of help prop up this ceiling. My thought process behind why I'm doing it like this instead of adhesive, where I could potentially move it, is that this is a structural piece, and then also there's other parts of the camper from the factory where they did the same thing. It's around the belly band, so this is kind of almost like a belly band piece. That's how I'm looking at it. And there's holes in the wood where screws and nails went through. It's dripping through. Oh boy. And my goal is not to deform the roof, it's to try to reinforce it. My thought process behind this, though, constantly just reinforce as much as I can. Another thing is why I'm doing this too is because with the wood coming down with that caulking that I just used, the 3M 4200, you know, I was starting to see or think that the same thing is going to happen to the foam, or I just think that there needs to be more sealing prep. I also see that there's a lot of the old styrofoam, like even the lettering and the print is still showing. I think we could probably remove these. We got plenty of support in the ceiling. The print is still showing through, so I don't know if the previous owner actually did a pretty good job of like prepping. So I'll have to be much more mindful of that when we're doing the foam, which in my plan is actually much further than I ever would have thought it would be. And we do have some leftover paste, so I'm going to add that to the repairs on the outside. I've already added a ton of goop on this corner here, but we're actually going to be getting to this quicker than I thought. And actually what we're going to be doing is getting into gel coating kind of quicker than I thought. I actually have a lot of paste. Yeah, I made way too much once again. Still getting really used to my ratios, guys. I want to see if I can try to get this pressed up in there. All right, now that with that in place, let's move on to the next thing. Oh, I hope this worked. I'm kind of like cutting this top screw out that you guys had seen in the last segment of fixing this, and we're gonna have to go over and sand this. Success! That one is out. Time to release the mold. Oh man, okay. Alright, let's see if we can just release the wood from the paper and then peel the paper off. Man, this is nerve-wracking. This is gonna take forever, guys. Oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Oh man, this is so nerve-wracking. Holy God. Lord. Okay. Yeah. Tape coming with it. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think the packing tape is probably the only way to go with this, but the wood is still intact and we can still use it. So we can do this again and just keep improving upon it, but all right. Peel ply time. Please work. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. All right. Very thin, but looks pretty good, guys. I'm not too concerned with like how the inside looks, as long as like we kind of overlap where these seams are. So that's where we could definitely add like some filler around the whole perimeter. And then, yeah, we want to get to the outside to fill the whole inside of this section with more fiberglass. You know, the OEM ones, or the newer ones that came from the factory, they didn't have like a wood backer, so I just don't see any sense in like adding a wood backer and screwing it. Some people on some forums that I was seeing do that with these campers. I just, for me, I would almost rather just have straight fiberglass, just plain, do the foam, just like everywhere else on the camper. And I guess the reason why I kind of want it like that, I just, I don't know. I particularly like how they thought of the design and how they did it. I don't really have any problem with it. I don't think you're gonna be. I think you're gonna be sacrificing some R value if you just put a piece of wood there where you could put foam. Now you guys might be wondering too, or there might be some questions in the comments if I get a comment. Well, why didn't you just buy like a 1980s Bigfoot where these windows were already shut? And I actually was interested in looking at one. The thing is, they're really expensive. Even still, some of the people that want money for these campers or who are selling these campers, I mean, you guys are seeing how much work I'm putting into this. It's insane. I don't know. I think it's pretty unreasonable. I think it's just better for me to do my own repairs like this and dabble into making it what it is and move from there. I think it's just absolutely crazy how much people want for these things that don't even fit modern vehicles, or they've been neglected for a long time, etc., etc. Or they're very far away from me. And again, that's another thing I have to consider is, am I going to be traveling another 50 hours or, 40 hours, whatever, to get one? This seemed to be the best thing that made sense to me, guys. It's getting a little bit later in the day. Would like to make more progress, and we will do so. But before we head out, I'm going to try and attempt to do one of the more harder things too, and the next thing on the list. We're going to add 1708 to the back. I think it will make it pretty intense if we add it to the front. Also, it's going to be harder to blend to make it look nicer with the gel coat, but this is going to add some insane strength. I'm going to add this side. I think add the flat side or the biaxial side to the wall on the inside, and then those voids around all those sections where we had initially laid this up, we're going to fill it with putty so that is strong. But I need roughly 40 inches of this stuff and matching this height. So I think, yes, we want about 17.5 inches. I'm gonna cut them in sheets, and we have to lay down probably a lot of resin for that, just because we really want this wet. Biaxial, I've noticed so far, has been pretty tough to work with. Definitely a lot more difficult, and you want a nice thorough wet out. This is an insane, it feels like a fire blanket. Pretty intense, but this is gonna add some insane strength. Got my 4 sheets cut up here. That'll give me more control over how I'm spreading it, which is important because I'm new, not too sure, I'm not the best at it yet. So far seems fantastic. So we're gonna lay this up tonight so it can dry overnight. So when we come back to it tomorrow, it's a little bit more hardened and good to go. And we cover some of those holes, and we can, drape over it in the event that it rains, which I need to check if it's gonna rain tonight. But yep, we're gonna go pour some resin. If it's not raining tonight, we're gonna lay it up. Want to make sure the 1708 goes up well. It is a pain to work with in my experience so far. It's This is looking really good, guys. I'm just literally going for it.
If you rise, don't forget your past situation. If you stumble, try to lift your mind through meditation. If you rise,
It's actually looking pretty transparent, guys, and that is definitely what we want. That's really good. I'm trying to get out all the air bubbles right now. It's kind of squeezing out more fluid around this void. I want to get this as filled as possible. This is so much easier and better though than the other side. Holy smokes. Like this is for sure so much better.
don't mistreat what's inside and all around you. Let the sunshine guide your soul. If you rise, don't forget your past situation.
All right, guys. Day number 2. I am pretty tired. My energy's a little low today. Wasn't feeling too good, but I'm not complaining, and we're gonna keep moving along on the camper. Let's check out the repairs that we did yesterday. It's my first time checking it out. I'm really excited, and then also the re-repair for the wood strip. Time to open the new escape hatch for more airflow. Let's see how the wood strip is doing. Temperature will definitely affect this, but ooh, I'm nervous-imo. I also added a CSM, or like the little fiberglass sections, but the ceiling has to hold itself up. You know, I need to have the foam and this extra wood strip hold itself up. I'm just sort of stress testing it a little bit right now. Let's check to see how this window looks so good. It is so much better than the first time I ever did it. Way better. This is the ticket for sure. There's like not a lot of air bubbles from what I can see on this side. Total transparency. Everything had soaked in. There's tiny little air pockets and some really small sections that I just really could not work the air out. So we might be able to sand and kind of grind that down a little bit and work on the outside. But man, this looks so good. I think the garbage bags, my sort of tarp, might have stuck to the other side, but it's not too bad. We still have yet to sand this down, but as a strong starting point foundation and a first wall of trying to get this set up, this is looking really, really nice. I am really happy about it, and it just as a first timer. My final insert. My idea is to do the repair on the corner completely and then gel coat, because that's how it was from the factory, to just gel coat like underneath the belly band right there and get that going. Oh yeah, this looks so good, guys. And yeah, this didn't even stick to that. I don't see any weird delamination. This looks so good, man. I wish this is how the first one looked, but I mean, we're learning. This is how we want it to be. So now we need to work on the clearance lights too, get that squared away. Once that happens, then we can start working on the screw holes that we created to start this wood backer. But there's a nice transition and dip. Yeah, I've got some masking tape in there, but it's just gonna be covered up. It's like technically, I guess, contaminated and not super perfect, but we're trying to move forward here, and we've got tons of glass like on the outside that we're gonna, eventually sand out so that I can gel coat the whole face. Okay guys, as you can kind of see, there is a storm moving in. It was a pretty warm day, and I feel it cooling off, so it's about to rain. Just to get things moving along still, I am taking a little bit more of a chill weekend, but to move things along more, I do need to remove the fridge. Some of that can be done inside. We're gonna get to that and see if I can try to get the fridge started to remove, or remove it as best as I can right now. So even if it rains, we're good to go. We're expected to get some severe weather, golf ball sized hail, and some other intense stuff going on. But like I said, kind of trying to take it chill. Smells like the 1980s. I mean, if I can't work outside, I'd like to work on the inside. So that is what we are gonna do. I think there's some hidden screws like right here, here, and here. There's also a propane line that runs in here that we're gonna have to remove. I'm gonna keep the propane line in this area, maybe try to massage it out of the way. I would like to keep it because I would eventually love to switch over to another 3-way fridge, but I'm gonna take up probably this whole section. My hot water heater's down here, but I might be able to bring this down a smidge, and then I can utilize more of this space. But that upper cabinet above the fridge, I'm not going to use it for anything. It's not only high, it's very deep. I'm not going to use it. So with that being said, I'm going to basically, just remove that and utilize that for like space for a freezer. I think that would be nice. To remove the fridge, there's like some slide screws I think we got to get rid of in the back. Is what I think needs to happen. And just like that, folks, heavy downpour again. It's supposed to stop in 20 minutes, but there's not really anything I can do because I don't have any like protection or coverage or anything like that from the rain. So it already sounds like it's kind of letting up, but it's supposed to be kind of raining for the next 20 minutes. So we're just going to chill in here until the rain kind of lets up, and then we'll get the fridge removed. Zero daddy. Start disconnecting the gas line now. Oh. All right, 80 years of being stuck together came off, and I can even remove it with my fingers. I seem to have gotten the 2 DC power connected. Our AC power is done, and we got that gas line done, and then there was a screw back here and one over there. Should be good to remove now. I need to remove this whole thing so that I can get the wood backer in when I eventually take care of that and that. And like I said, I want to gel coat these 2 things underneath because we don't want water getting in onto the fiberglass and eventually delaminating it or something. Oh, that's gonna be kind of heavy, I think. Oh my Lord. Pretty heavy, folks. Oh yeah, it's coming out. Rock and roll McDonald's. Unless there's, I think, just friction. It's just like this cabinet's like perfectly cut. Oh, that's gonna be nasty. I'm gonna move my Chinesium window out of the way so I can work on it. Oh, the floor is so soft right there. It needs to get replaced. Not as heavy as I thought. Oh boy! Oh man, there's like a face hugger in there or something. Eee. Oh. That's a tight fit, folks. Oh, nothing was damaged in the process. Still looks brand new. Yep. Removed all the foam and like the underlayment, bed platform stuff. And it's not raining yet, so I'm just still working kind of inside, and there's damage kind of up above this, but you can see, yeah, there's some fair amount of damage here. It almost looks like they tried to patch this or something. It seems kind of strange. Yeah, there's like a hole right here. This is like what we're seeing on the outside, but this is pretty bad. I'm gonna grind this out pretty much from the underside, and it seems like it's just kind of delaminating right here. That's not good. So yeah, fridge is removed. Very nice. Very happy about that. Yeah, I'm keeping the carcass of this whole thing as a template for later. We have to take the bathroom out. And we have to take the bathroom out because you can see right here, there's a lot of damage around the driver's side rear jacking point. And that jacking point is really crucial for getting the camper on and off. I can't get to fiberglassing behind that and inspecting the damage and repairing it until I can remove the bathroom. The front seemed to be, like I said, make the most sense to start here because I can probably put the bathroom stuff up here in the front and not have to go over here for a little while. So my plan is to repair all of the damage. There's actually more than I expected, which, you know, will slow it down a little bit, and then repair all of the other things that I've seen. So I'm going to repair it with the fiberglass, gel coat it. I'm going to install the new windows, just the two on the sides, get them shimmed and framed out. We're not going to skin the front yet until like the very end, but I'm going to get the foam in here, get the windows, get the window frames, everything shimmed, stuff gel coated. So at least I'll have some practice with some fiberglass and gel coat, and I'm good to go. It's really good that we're getting to removing a bunch of this foam and a bunch of this stuff, because man, yeah, there's way more damage than I knew about, which is just going to take a little bit more time. I'm not discouraged at all. I'm not like, oh my God, but it's going to be fine. You know, a little bit more of a delay. And then, like I said, I haven't been feeling too good today, guys. I'm like practically falling asleep. So I'm still trying to plug away, even though it's going to rain again. It's a nice cozy day for like a movie or something. So I got the floor removed, and before I call it a day, you know, I cleaned up and everything like that. You can definitely see the crack a lot better there. And I got the wall scraped a little bit, but we're gonna have to sand it down pretty good and get the corner nice and done. I was removing some of the insulation, and you can see we've got a pretty good puddle of water. I don't know when that got in or how, but there was a huge crack on that corner, if you remember, before I replaced this. And I haven't seen it leaking since. I come here and I don't notice this wet at all. There's also a pretty big ridge here, so there's not really anything that can get down. The only thing that really could be leaking is into that corner. It's from the front. I just suspect that it was probably leaking at some time before I had added this wood panel and had done everything. The whole front has been pretty much tarped up. So, and I haven't noticed any moistness. The wood backer hasn't been wet. You know, I haven't noticed any moisture, especially on this side, like really much at all. Nothing has been like dripping down or anything like that. So who knows how long that's been sitting in there, but that might be pretty old, nasty water. Man, it's a lot of damage. and some water we got going on here. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Well, it's supposed to rain pretty much the whole rest of the day, and it's pretty cozy. This is not allowing me to fiberglass outside or make much movement outside on the camper. So we're gonna end it here. I'm probably gonna have to come back tomorrow, and I'm gonna be doing some stuff off camera. You kind of get the idea of what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be laying up fiberglass, and I will be sure to let you guys see the update of where I get to it, especially on that damaged area. You know, there's more cracks to where that was, which makes me think this thing, maybe it hit a tree and a bunch of branches. Who knows? If you liked this video or you're liking this content, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. If you'd like to support me and fuel this camper rebuild and then also some cool adventures in the future, I've got links down below. You're welcome to check out. If you got any questions about anything, or you're like, dude, why is this or that way or whatever, you know, leave a comment. I have no problem having a conversation with you folks. Yeah, really appreciate the support. We'll keep cranking away at it, stick to the plan, and we're going to persevere. And until next time, I'll see ya.